Hey, 4-1. What's wrong with these niggas talking down on us, dog? Talking about we ain't doing what we do. Nigga, we done been out here about like 10 years, nigga. We getting old, goddammit. Let's get it. We made niggas put them rose bottles up. We made the whole city boss they like fuck. Boss they like fuck. We made niggas wanna go and hit hush. Bitch, we made niggas, you know we love to stunt. We made niggas put them rose bottles up. We made the whole city boss they like fuck. Boss they like fuck. We made niggas wanna go and hit hush. Bitch, we made niggas, you know we love to stunt.
Welcome one, welcome all to the first episode of the Georgia Tech Rebuild Dynasty. So excited to embark on this new journey. If you're new here, this dynasty started with Oregon State. I'll tag the playlist right here. My name is John Eads. Thank you very much for joining us today. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content if you like the content. Today we're just going to hammer out the end of the season here, take care of all those loose ends, and then get into the off season, and then I'm going to separate this one from the preseason episode, which will come out soon as well. This one might be a little bit longer, so just, beware. I usually like to make my episodes about 20 minutes, but I did 6-7 seasons at Oregon State, and now here we are here down in Atlanta, ready to rebuild this 3-9 one-star team into a perennial powerhouse. And just taking a look at the coaching changes here, obviously we're one of the changes. We're there. We also have a new defensive coordinator there, Benny Foster, who I know nothing about, but I'm sure we'll find out how good he is down the line. First thing we're looking at here is players leaving. So one guy projected to get drafted from last year's Georgia Tech team. That's A.J. Sullivan. He's a 6'1", 289-pound, fifth-year senior defensive tackle. And he's projected to go round 6. Now, there's no situation here in which I can convince this guy to come back because he's used up, obviously, all of his eligibility. There's no COVID years or anything like that because we're in 2027. And COVID wasn't a thing in this virtual world. So he's gone. One draft pick from this team. But you look at this list, and we're going to take a holistic view at it here, at all the talent that's leaving this Yellow Jackets team. I'm a little confused as to how they went 3-9 last year. I mean, the last coach must have been completely incompetent because this is a good team. And a lot of good players out the door. Good center, a couple of good quarterbacks. Skill position players, an 88 overall corner there, free safety, a lot of 80 overall guys, high 80s, low 80s, just a lot of talent, a lot of seniors leaving, a big-time senior class. So this roster is going to be gutted, and it's going to be difficult to really get it to where it needs to be year one. Quick look at Oregon State, though, the team we just came from. Eric Copeland out the door. He's projected to go round 7. He is declaring as well. He does have one more year at his disposal. 2 transfers. Ryan Porter, who was a really big-time recruit for us, my former school, I guess, is gone. And then Ryan Jackson as well, which I don't really get because we purposely played him a lot as a freshman. He caught a couple of touchdowns, so... But you see all the other draft picks: McConnell, Watkins, Haas, Patton, Phillips, Wright, Moss, Jude, Pennington, McCoy. So many guys going to go play in the NFL. A couple interesting ones, though. I mean, McCoy, round 7, he barely even played back at Oregon State, so it's interesting to see him go. A couple of big snubs from the NFL. One of them is Brian Brewer, one of our best wide receivers at Oregon State, coming off his best season, 871 yards receiving this year in a loaded wide receiver team. Eric Gooden, not surprised about. B.J. Little was a decent lineman. He's not getting drafted. Amir Moore makes no sense. This guy won the Remington. He's 93 overall. I don't get that. I also don't get James Parker. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons at receiver. Pretty much our wide receiver 1. He's not getting drafted. Jack Atkins isn't getting drafted either, coming off his best season as a senior linebacker. So, always hate to see some of my best players not getting drafted, and former best players, I guess, at that, but it is what it is. Now I just want to take a quick look at Georgia Tech's returning production, or season stats, rather, to see, who's coming back, what kind of players are leaving, what their statistics were, what their numbers were. So quarterback, the starter's out the door, so we have one guy coming back who hasn't really played much. At running back, there's a lot of young guys. Look at this freshman here, Chris Grant. He's certainly someone to be excited about. 83 speed, 85 excel isn't great, but he's a power back, and I'm sure we'll have a use for him in the offense. We kind of have to use him because he it's in the offense right now. We haven't been able to recruit new players yet. So, but a couple of senior running backs leaving. We got a fullback who is coming back for his senior season, a nice redshirt freshman here. My problem is this. The running backs are all kind of the same. power back, big builds, not very fast, decent speed, but not very fast. So we're going to have to recruit some more scat back type players. But running wise, a lot of production coming back there. So that's something to be happy about. Additionally, a very good tight end who actually led the team in receiving last year, Carl Harrison, 6'6", 261, 848 yards last year, 3-year contributors. You see his statistics there. So that's a building block for us. But other than that, 3 of the other receivers, the other 3 good receivers are all leaving. Brandon Petty should be back. He's a redshirt junior, will be a redshirt senior. He was injured last season, so he put up some pretty good numbers, but didn't play the whole year, obviously. So, and then down towards the bottom, a couple of guys that played complementary roles, couple of catches, but nothing major. On the defensive side, this might be the strength of the team. I'm telling y'all right now. Best player, Clayton Perkins. He'll be back at linebacker. Phil Jackson at sophomore linebacker. He'll be back. Miller's going to be back. Really love this linebacker core. Looking forward to seeing them play, and certainly will be big for us this year in our first season. You see the TFL numbers there. Not massive sack numbers, especially at the defensive line positions, but certainly some things to be optimistic about. So the defense is looking really good. Moving forward, just take a look at the draft results. Only one for us, as expected. AJ Sullivan goes in the 6th round, so we can't really take credit for that pick, but we're going to get the XP for it anyway. Let's go look at Oregon State, though. Everybody that was projected to get drafted did get drafted. McConnell goes 1st round. Patton, Haas, Watkins in the 2nd. Phillips goes in the 3rd. Aaron Wright, Ben Moss, and Brian Jude in the 4th. Curtis Pennington goes in the 6th. And I believe that was it. No, Rob McCoy goes in the 6th as well. So what you don't see there is Eric Copeland. He's back for his redshirt senior season. I guess they convinced him to stay. So good for him, and we'll keep an eye on that, of course. Now let's go ahead and look at recruiting. Get more into the fun stuff here. So I have no idea who's in this class. I have not looked at it. I have no idea what the situation is like, what the roster situation is like. We're walking into this, guys, like we're playing White Elephant at Christmas time, all right? So what we're going to do is scout the current commitments they have and see what they have, and then try to finish out this class as best as we possibly can. It's going to be a big challenge. So let's scroll all the way down to the bottom. Let's see what they got. Not a good start. A couple of 55 overall players. So let's go ahead and get everybody scouted. Before that, though, of course, we got to know what our team needs are. We need a quarterback. Really, we need everything because this team is a 1-star prestige, so not very good. We need a defensive tackle, and we need a strong safety. So we're going to try to address those now. But, of course, once the next recruiting cycle comes around, we're going to have to hit pretty much everything because the talent in this team is insanely low, and the record speaks for itself. So we're trying to get a quarterback, we're trying to get a strong safety, fill those positions. I mean, there's one quarterback on this entire roster. How does that happen? How does that happen? And it's not like they have athletes or anything like that that are playing other positions, man. They have one freaking quarterback. So we got to sign 2 of them boys here if we possibly can. But before we do that, like I said, let's go ahead and see the guys that are already on board, what their overall is looking like. So we got a 56 overall center, 1-star recruit. Not a great start. You can't improve bringing in 1-stars unless they're JUCOs, I guess. How about Cody Cooper? Same deal. So 256 overall linemen, not great. Rob McCoy, look at this. A little Spider-Man meme moment. We had a Rob McCoy at Oregon State who we just talked about. Got drafted, and he's beastly. 92 speed, 82 excel at corner, 83 jumping, 81 man, 82 zone coverage. Okay, I like that corner from Alabama. How about Roman McCutcheon? He's got A speed. I like that, and it's true. 94 speed, 85 excel, 86 jumping. So 2 really good corners. Shout out to the last coaching staff for evaluating the cornerback position well. How about defensive tackle? Oh, a bust to start things off there. Not great, especially because we need a D tackle. So 52 overall. He's the worst player in this class at this point. How about this other cornerback, though? They've been strong, and they stay strong. Another 70 overall corner. 89 speed, 89 acceleration, and he's 6'1", and he's from Alabama. So 3 really good corners. Cornerback is looking great. Unfortunately, it's not like a team need. They already have 4 on the roster, so at least we add to that. So those are certain things to be happy about. At this point, guys, we're taking the small victories, you know what I mean? How about this wideout? 88 speed, 78 excel, not great. 6'0", 174. It says he's a 4-star recruit, which is just absolute cap because he was 64 overall to start, but whatever. Kenneth Silva, next up. Decent, not great. 71 power move, 77 finesse. Pretty slow for a linebacker, but he's developable, if that's even a word. How about this 4-star wide receiver? We already saw one. Let's see if this one's a little bit better. Jesse Livingston stays at 70. Decent speed, pretty good catching. Not the worst, but if you're 5'10", I prefer you have a little more speed than that. How about another speed wide receiver? Alex Williams. What you got for me? Goes down 1 overall. He's not very fast. Not really sure where they're getting the speed from there. So we cherry pick a couple of, receivers that aren't very good. But look at this quarterback, though. 4-star quarterback, 78 overall, and he stays that way. This guy is a beast, man. 77 speed, 76 excel, 83 throw power, 85 accuracy. I mean, this is playing white elephant and uncovering the keys to a Lamborghini. I mean, come on now. That's a cherry on top here. That's great. So Earl Edwards looks like he's the future of this Georgia Tech team. And all we had to do was sign a contract, and he's ours now. So that's big. Had an offer from Georgia. In-state guy. Looks like he could be the guy that rebuilds this program. That's great. That's a great way to end off the guys that are already committed. Now let's keep that momentum going and see who else we can kind of find on the trail. As far as guys being locked out, we literally have 1 week to put this together with the 15K points. So if we're locked out on you at this point and it's an insanely big gap, like 6K, we're probably going to cut you because we just can't risk that many points on one player when we have 9 scholarship spots open at this point. So we have to sign 9 guys to avoid bringing walk-ons in, which is just embarrassing. So moving down the list, though, Sam Franklin, a really good tight end. We're definitely going to go after him. Joel Hall as well, 6'5", free safety, insane size, good speed as well. 92-90, good tackle. We got to have him. He's a beast. All right, moving along. We already have Earl Williams. He's our quarterback of the future, but now we only have 2 quarterbacks on the roster, right? So I want to bring in 2 this class. So Lance Clancy might be one of those guys. He's good enough. I mean, I don't really care. We just need bodies in the room. Like, I doubt he's going to play big minutes at any point, but we just need guys in the room that could play if an injury happens or anything like that. So we'll probably put some points on him as well. I'd like to bring in another one just in case, worst case scenario, he has to step in. But we also need a strong safety, so Lorenzo Jackson looks pretty decent there, 6'4", 225. Of course, we need a D-tackle as well. Already mentioned that, so Randy Grimes could be that dude. He's decent, 66 overall. Would have liked to see him go up and not down in the overalls, but how about Michael Little? JUCO strong safety, and he's good, man. He's good. The thing with the JUCOs is they only usually have 2 to 3 years to play. So you'd rather have that freshman that can come in and play right away, and you don't really have to worry about them wasting their eligibility, if that makes sense. So, but at this point, we just got to put bodies on the roster. I don't really care how it gets done; it just has to get done. And because we got to put bodies on the roster, it means I can't, mess around and go after guys that just clearly don't want to play at our school. And considering that we're a new staff as well, guys, trust level is probably much lower than it usually would be. They don't want to just step foot into a situation in which they don't know what the future of the program is. And on top of that, I haven't even talked to some of these dudes on the phone and given them the recruiting pitch. They don't even know who I am. I mean, they should. We just won 6 straight natties at Oregon State. But, coming in as a new coach nearing the signing day is very tough as a recruiter. So guys that have us locked out, unless we're in the lead for you, like Mike Johnson here, probably just going to get cut off the list because we just don't have the time or the interest in messing around and trying to bring him in. Now, here's the thing. I don't see the unlock feature. I don't see the unlock feature on the board, and it's something that you should be able to do as like a fully maxed out head coach, is if a recruit locks you out, unlock them. But I think that might be something with the game where you can't do that if you're a new coach and you're coming in to recruit guys nearing signing day. So that just kind of is what it is. We have other guys on the board that we can recruit at quarterback there. So Mike Johnson, not the worst thing in the world to see him go. Some of these guys down here, 40 overalls, like, what are we doing? Like, this isn't Akron. We're at Georgia Tech. This is a Power 5 school in the ACC. I mean, what are we doing wasting our time recruiting these guys? They're not going to be program changers at all. John Harris, you can go too, man. I don't got time for no bus unless you're already committed to us. Seth Meeks, though, 57 overall, gets a +5 overall boost, so maybe we'll look at him. Still really deeping low into the barrel, reaching deep low into the barrel, rather. But like I keep saying, man, we got to put dudes on this roster because it is not a good roster right now. So we're just kind of whittling these guys out. They have no future at our team. Maybe at places like UTSA or North Texas or, like I said before, Akron, but not here at Georgia Tech. So that's what we're looking like. The guys that I have 5s on are certainly guys that we're going to put points on. We got 15K to use at our disposal. But before we do that, I want to look at some other guys that we could bring in on the database. So I'm going to fast forward through this, but really what I'm looking for is anybody that has us top 3 pretty low in the lock percentage, which you'll see in the middle of the screen there. But I'm also targeting guys that are fast. I mean, looking at 40 times, I need scat back players, I need slot receivers, I need speed for this offense, and really on the defense as well. I'm more concerned about the offense because if you could score points, you know, you can win any game you play, and obviously we love to score points and play offense here. So that's kind of the identity, the DNA that we're trying to establish. Let's get some more guys on the board, see if we can find some diamonds in the rough, and we'll go from there. All right, we're back. So we added some guys to the board. We'll see if we could find some other, you know, somewhat decent players to recruit here. We're starting off with Sean Brown, who has us in first, actually. Damn it, he's a gem. Let's go. So probably the best receiver we have on the board. Let's just offer him 2 while we're at it. And he's an insta-commit, baby. Let's go. Pre-signing day fireworks here. We're off to a great start at Georgia Tech. This is the kind of player that we need to turn this program around. I'm telling y'all. Earl Williams, the quarterback. Sean Brown, this wide receiver. That's the duo. That's the future of this program. Not a guy you're going to want to forget here. That's massive, man. These are the kind of W's you have to take as you're trying to build your program. So Sean Brown's on the board. We now have 8 guys that we got to sign. So that kind of takes the load off, takes the stress off a little bit. Pat Simmons here, he looks pretty decent as well. Looks like a safety, corner type player. Perhaps he could play on the offensive side too with his 82 route running. So pretty decent. A guy that, you know, is like a Swiss Army knife. We could play him in a couple of different spots. And, you know, I don't mind bringing in athletes because we need help in a couple of different places. Strong safety being one of them. Wide receiver being one of them. Certainly help that Sean Brown's on the board, but I would love to bring in Simmons. Added another quarterback, Daniel Howard there. Still looking, you know, keeping our options open, making sure we can bring in that second quarterback that I want to bring in. Jamal Walker, Mike Pittman, 54 overall. He gets bumped up 1, but still not great. I mean, he's 6'3", so that's good size, but not a game changer. We need game changers at this point. Javon Reed's not that guy. Josh Smith is not that guy. Bust, he can go. We don't have time for that. Brandon Johnson, the last guy here, outside linebacker. He's actually not that bad, man. I'm looking at his stats here. I'm trying to figure out why he's 59 overall. I mean, I guess it's because of his power moves, finesse moves, but that's not the worst deal when you're an outside linebacker. You could be a coverage linebacker, you know? So overall, pretty good options here. The guys that, like I said before, we have 5s on are the guys we're really going to target. If we end up bringing only them in and we have to bring walk-ons to fill the roster up, it kind of just is what it is. It's not really my fault, but it is now. It's my problem now. We have to fix it now and in the future. So Franklin's going to get 3,500. These might change based on how many points we have left and stuff like that, but would love to bring in that tight end because if you saw what we did with Edgar Haas at Oregon State last year, man, pretty much our leading receiver at tight end, absolute red zone menace. We got to bring in a guy like that. He's going to be a quick fix for us offensively here while we lack talent at some skill positions. Joe Hall's going to get 4K. I mean, he just got an insane frame, generational talent at free safety, and we play free safety user most of the time, so that would just be insanely fun for us. 4K on him, 1,500 on Lance Clancy because we got to bring in that backup quarterback, and he's probably the best one that we have. Michael Little's going to get a good amount as well. He's that JUCO strong safety, a position of need for us, and he's really decent as well. He's got Georgia looking at him, UNC, so a really good prospect. Hopefully we can bring him in. Randy Grimes as well. We'll get back to him. I got to bring in a D tackle, so we'll get back to Randy. He needs some points. Down here, I'm trying to find maybe the best wideout possible, but all these guys are just not good. I don't really understand Jamal Walker's 69 overall with 71 Excel. That's just unacceptable for a wide receiver, in my opinion. Randy's going to get, I think, somewhere around 2,000. We're going to give him the full 2K. We need a D tackle. We got to steal a couple of points, too, because we only have points on 5 guys, and we have 8 roster spots to fill, right? So we got to spread the wealth a little bit to some guys down towards the bottom. We take 500 off of Clancy, give a couple to Lorenzo Jackson since we're in the lead for him. Hopefully we could just seal the deal there. We got such a big lead over Nebraska as it is. About 900 points left, just kind of filtering, putting some on dudes. Like, we're putting 150 on a 51 overall fullback simply because he's a player, a fullback, probably a position that we need to fill some numbers in with. So 450 on that athlete up there, who I actually really like, so hopefully we can get him. I wish I had more points to put on Simmons, but it kind of just is what it is. 100 left. Where do we want to go? Probably Daniel Howard. I mean, we still need that quarterback. If we don't get the one at the top, maybe we can get him. Lance Clancy, that is, up there. But we thought about this for a little while. 50 on Howard. And that's all of our points. That's all 15K. So that's what we're looking like. We'll see how it all shakes out on signing day. Like I said, a lot of work to do. This is far from a complete product, but we're hoping to kind of get those building blocks, kind of move ourselves in the right direction here with a good recruiting class, recruiting cycle. Before we advance into next week, I want to look at the guys we already have on our board. 40 times, bench press, squat numbers, you know, just the basics here. So Earl Edwards runs a 4.68 40, not great, but you know, he's a dual threat quarterback, so just be fast enough. 4.5 on that wideout Williams. 4.48 for Livingston, so good speed, you know, raw speed. 4.46s, 4.44s. We got, you know, 5s. I don't really care about those. 4.5. 4.34 for Roman McCutcheon, that one corner. And then a 4.38 from McCoy as well. Man, this cornerback class might be the best in the country right now. So cornerback, not going to be a problem at Georgia Tech in the near future, guys. That I can assure you of. Other positions like the O-line might be an issue. But at corner, we're set. So that's awesome. That certainly has me optimistic. All right, let's see how it all shaked out. All right, I'm seeing a lot of yellow, so that's a good indicator. Looks like we got 5 commits at the top here, maybe some down towards the bottom as well. But right off the bat, we lost that free safety to UCF. The other guys I don't care too much about. We lost Clancy to Arizona State. We need that quarterback, but he's going to ASU. And then Simmons, that nice athlete, is going to Mid-Tennessee State. That's who we lost. We did get Michael Little, that JUCO strong safety, so that's a dub. Sam Franklin, the really good tight end, is going to be a yellow jacket, so that's good. We got a fullback. Don't really care about that one. We got Lorenzo Jackson as well, so we filled 2 spots at strong safety. We have Randy Grimes on top of that, so we filled a defensive tackle vacancy. So a couple of big signings there. How about the bottom? All right, we got our second quarterback there, Daniel Howard, so good. And then Mike Pittman. So that's just massive, 55 overall wide receiver. My little brother loves this dude. I don't really understand why. I guess it's because he shares the name of the Colts wide receiver and the Florida State wide receiver, Michael Pittman in the NFL and the Colts. Maybe he'll be a beast just because of that alone. We'll keep an eye on that. But let's go look at these guys and see how the class really finished out rankings-wise and all that good stuff. It said we signed the top class in the ACC on the XP chart, so, I mean, I might call cap on that, but we'll see. If we did, that'd be insane because we literally did nothing. So Brandon Johnson, that nice linebacker who's, I know he's 59 overall, but I think he's nice. Didn't sign with anybody. I think that means we're going to get him, but we'll find out. Maybe he just didn't want to go to college. Sam Franklin, 75 overall tight end. Clancy's gone, ASU. Commit there, signee at this point. Jackson, 66 overall strong safety. Terrell, 70 overall fullback. That's good. I mean, Georgia Tech is known for running that triple option, and you know, they love their fullbacks there, so maybe we'll work him in a little bit. We used Chris Phillips previously in pretty decent ways in the Wildcat at the Oregon State Dynasty, so we're going to just delete all these guys off the chart, though, that are going to other schools. I would have loved Pat Simmons, man. That was a guy that had me excited. Cali guy, too, so, you know, we know how to recruit the West Coast, obviously. Jamal Walker going to Iowa. Interesting decision. Reed, Middle Tennessee. Do not care whatsoever. And then Joel Hall, 6'5", 212, going to UCF, Fort Lauderdale native. I get it, staying in state. I wish we would have had him, man. That would have been an insanely fun guy to play with at free safety. But it is what it is. Here's a look at our team overview at this point. We oversigned actually. We had 22 signees, 50 guys already on the roster. I'm not really sure that's possible. I think they may have added in a couple of dudes that I just didn't want or didn't even show up on the recruiting database. So we'll get to that at cut players, which will be later on in this episode. But here's a look at the final standing. So 21st class in the nation is not bad at all. 3 4-stars, 14 3-stars. Overall, 22 signees. A couple of those guys are going to get cut. I'm just telling you right now. But apparently it was the top class in the ACC. Oregon State finished 3rd. We were number 1 with them for most of the year. They added a couple of guys to their class as well who I don't recognize. Man, I really hope that dude just does not screw the pooch there. I mean, 6 straight titles, top 5 recruiting classes pretty much every year. This guy's walking into the best job in the nation. There's no way he could possibly screw it up, right? Right? And also, the ACC best class is capped because I saw Boston College up there at the top. But still, great class. Will not complain about it whatsoever. All right, couple things left to do here. We're going to do training results and then finish off with cut players before we stop, and we'll get into the preseason in the next episode. But starting with quarterback, the only one on our roster at this point, Matt Slater gets up to 87 overall. He's good, man. 87 throw power, 86 accuracy. He's pretty fast as well, 87, 92 speed excel. So we can work with that. I mean, he'll certainly fit our offense. Running back-wise, I mean, 5 guys that are decent. 73 is the lowest. Grant's the leader at 82, but they're all just really similar. 6 foot, between 200 and 227 pounds there, in the 80s in speed and excel. I need a scat back. I mean, I love having those kind of players that we have, but, we need some more speed. Same with the wide receiver spot. I mean, 77 speed is a wideout. Ugh, gross. But Harrison gets up to 85 overall. He's going to be an absolute animal. We have to feed this guy the rock. Offensive lines, all right, 84, 77, 87 at right guard, 82 at right tackle. So it's not bad. It'll certainly work. Here's one more look at it. 72, 76, 84, 77, 87, 82. So left tackle, center, kind of the weak links, but, we'll make do. We kind of have to. Defensive line's looking okay. David Joseph looks like he's that guy. 6'5", 248. I love that build in a defensive end. He's going to be good. I can tell y'all right now. Defensive tackle's okay. Nothing to write home about. And here's where the strength of the team lies right here. Linebacker, man. 85. We got an 80 at backup as well. But Perkins at left. Jackson in the middle at 87. He's only a junior, too, which is insane. Got to give the last coaching staff credit again, man. Linebacker, they certainly knew what they were doing. 85 at the right outside linebacker spot. And all of these guys, I believe, have one more year after this. So, I don't want to make them come back if they have a great year this year. But, future's looking good there. Corner-wise, not bad. 88 at CB1, 77 at CB2. And we're bringing in some really good recruits this year. So, I really think this defense is going to be slept on, man. We're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Free safety's decent, 6'2", 89 overall, 93 speed, 95 excel. That'll be us. I can work with that. Kicker, punter are good as well. I think we have an A+ special teams rating. So, hey, man, it could be worse. Certainly could be worse. Now, let's go to cut players. We have 2 spots that we have to account for. We have 72 guys on the team. Well, obviously, you can only have 70 dudes, scholarship players on your team. I wish they would change that in the new game up to 85, which is what it is now, and still have walk-ons on your team, because that'd be super fun to have a walk-on just go off in a game or something like that. But this should be pretty easy. There's a couple of guys really on the team that the game just added in for no reason. So we already cut one. We got one left to go. Like, I might just cut one of the incoming freshmen that are just god-awful, one of those offensive linemen, the 55 overall dude. Probably going to be Jackson there. It's between him and Cooper. And I already know we're hitting the center spot heavy in this recruiting cycle. So, yeah, we're going to say goodbye to Jackson. 56 overall, man. That's just not good enough for us. So that's going to wrap up the offseason and preseason part 1, I guess, here in the Georgia Tech Dynasty. Great episode. Really fun. Thanks again for joining. Hit the like button. Subscribe as well, man. This is episode 1 of what could be another 170, which we did at Oregon State. Again, I encourage you to go watch that playlist. Tons of football content over there. Tons of NCAA 14 and college football revamp content over there and on this channel. Thanks again for watching. We're going to pick up with the preseason in the next episode. I'm optimistic. I'm excited. Let's roll. Let's keep it going. I'll catch you on the next one.